All right, let's see what it's like under hard acceleration. Let's go. A little slow to respond, but when it does, you get moving, and you get moving in a hurry. That 8-speed automatic is really good. We reached 60 in plenty of time, and then it does like to hold those gears even as you decelerate, giving you a nice blip. It really just works all the way around, audibly, emotionally, viscerally. I like it. Oh, there it is. Woo! Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the all-new, first ever 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe. This is the top of the line e-Supercharger version. It is so nice. You know I am a massive fan of this brand, and we really loved the outright SUV version of this vehicle, and I have loved all the concepts and teases I've seen of this coupe. But after living with it for a full week, is it everything that I thought it would be? Or is this a little bit of a burst bubble? Stay tuned to find out. As we get started with this one, I do want to say a huge thank you to Genesis for bringing this one to me for a full week. I unfortunately had to miss the press drive, first drive of this vehicle in Minneapolis earlier this year because we were busy filming our great Texas road trip in a high country Suburban. But I am one of the first to get this vehicle as a journalist in my daily life because we received this with under 600 miles on the odometer. But while we are up front here, let's talk about this twin turbo V6 with a 48-volt e-Supercharger. Yes, this is using the same top trim, top power plant from the very large and in-charge G90 executive sedan. This thing has more power and more torque than the non-e-Supercharger version that we tested in the SUV proper and the base version of this SUV coupe. Rated at 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque, it's just a little boost of 34 horsepower and 14 pound-feet of torque-ish, respectively. But we'll talk more about how that handles when we get behind the wheel. All that to say, there is still a lot of chassis stiffening underneath here. We'll also cover that. Closing the hood, let's talk about the style of this thing, because style is why you'd buy a Genesis product and why you would lean really heavily into this GV80 Coupe. I saw the launch of the concept of this in New York. I have seen the first production versions of them roll off at the LA show. I have been drooling and salivating and waiting for my chance to have some time with this vehicle. And here we are, a full week with it on the channel. Much like the proper GV80, we get a revised front end, but we get a slightly different grille design. You can see dark chrome all the way around, and we get a black and behind a dark chrome kind of dynamic look versus the kind of two-line stripe design of the GV80 SUV proper. So there are some subtle details even from the front here where you can tell a coupe from the SUV just by paying attention to small details, but the overall design does borrow heavily from the GV80 SUV, including those lower rear quarters that are active air pass-throughs for the front corner of the vehicle. But you can also see, looking through here, these are actually open where they weren't in the SUV, so we do have some active cooling back here because there are some, well, performance aspirations of the GV80 Coupe. Otherwise, we get those full LED headlights, running lights, turn signals, all of that up front. Very clean, very polished, very upscale look all the way around. We get the new Genesis badge that is 3D and textured, a very nice look. As we pull around to the quarter view here, we can talk about this is in the matte McCullough gray paint. I have to sigh a little bit because I had the option of 2 of these that are currently in the fleet, and they brought me the matte gray one. The other is in that new beautiful baby blue with a navy blue and orange interior, and that is 100% my spec. That is how I would option it, and I'm sad that I was forced to live with this one, but there is a lot to like with this one as well. I would not be sad with any GV80 Coupe. I want to just put that on the record. As we come down to the wheels and tires, you can see the same wheel design that we saw on the G70 sedan, just larger. These are 22s and a very nice, interesting look. Again, that 2-line theme from the headlights carries through here. Very different wheel design than what we saw on the GV80 SUV. These are wrapped in 265/40 R22 Michelin Primacy Tour tires. It's a very similar tire, but different wheel design. You can see the big brakes back there behind it. Fully adaptive, adjustable suspension with road preview. We'll talk about that when we get it moving. As we move around to the side, you can see those 2-line themes continue onto the front fender with our turn signals. And then this is where you can really see the difference from the B-pillar back. This is essentially a different vehicle from the SUV on which it shares its name. Completely different rear doors on this one, more sloped and rakish than what you get on the SUV proper. And then again, talking about that 2-line design, we did not get this on the SUV proper, but that dark chrome has that 2-line accent there. I really like all the dark chrome accents on the side of this vehicle. You've got it around the windows, you've got it down on the lower portions of the door, you've got it around the fender vents, you've got it around the door handles. It's all very nice and very classy, and translates and speaks well with this matte gray paint. Very mindful, very demure, if you will. As we pull around to the back of it, it has a little bit of a hunchback-ish look. I think it's going to be either a love it or hate it. For me, I love it. You can see we've got that kind of dual scalloped overhang over the rear window. Gone is the rear window wiper on this. So if you are in an area that rains a lot and you really need a clean back window, well, this might be a little bit of a problem for you, but Genesis has thought of that as well. You've got your rear view camera mirror right back here. It is offset due to the design back here. But I would say of the SUV coupes, of the growing popularity of vehicles with this roofline in the SUV segment, I think the GV80 Coupe pulls it off the best. I referenced earlier, or I have referenced before, the BMW X6, and most notably that we've tested here on this channel, the Mercedes GLE Coupe. I think this looks better than both. The GLE Coupe did get a minor refresh that definitely helped its overall style, but I still think this is the best looking of the midsize SUV luxury coupes. We can see some repeated elements from other vehicles. In fact, all of this really looks like a blown up, exaggerated G80 sedan. In fact, I'm 99% sure this entire panel with your third brake light was pulled directly off the new updated G80 sedan. You can see those 2-line taillights back there, and then updated rear exhaust back here in the back. So there are some changes even down low to the bumpers versus the traditional SUV model. This does have the smart access tailgate where if I did not have the vehicle currently running, if it were locked, all the conditions are right with the key in my pocket, I would just stand back there for a moment. It would beep at me 3 times and it would open without me having to kick, dance, or gyrate. As we open up the rear hatch, you can see just how far forward it's hinged. It opens up very nicely in our 1963 built garage, but because of that sloping roof line, we do give up some cargo space. The SUV has 34.9 cubic feet behind the second row of seats and 84 cubic feet with the second row folded down, which is very, very competitive for the class. With this sloping rear roof line, we give up over 4 cubic feet to a total of 30.3 with the rear seats up and 62.1 with the rear seats down. So you are making a sacrifice back here for all the additional style. And much like the Mercedes GLE Coupe, we get this trifold suede covered cargo shade, no retractable cargo shade in this one. Very much just like Mercedes and their GLE Coupe. I like it, it works fine. But my preference is always for the retractable kind. You can see we can power fold those second row seats down. We do get a little additional power back here. And general same storage options as you look down. We have the cargo net that will hold things in place. And if we look under, if I can get this carpet up, one-handed, I'm gonna get to it. You can see we do have a little bit of additional storage underneath. You can see we get a tire mobility kit because we do not get a full-size spare. And then not much extra storage space down there, but if we did have the 3-row version of the SUV, that is essentially where the 3rd row of seats would be. So a little bit of extra storage under there. Of course, we've got this net in the way. This is a power operated hatch, as I showed you. Go ahead and show you me at 5'10". It opens up plenty wide, comes down and closes very nicely. Before we climb in this one, I did want to show you the key. It's Genesis's new key, this very interested like quilted design here. It's plastic and it feels a little more chintzy than what they've replaced this key with. I like it, fair enough. You can see all the buttons are there on the side. You can see lock, unlock, hatch button, panic button. Flip it over here, we have remote start and remote park assist. So this thing will actually move forward and back on you from a standstill, like you don't have to be in it. So if you're in a tight parking spot, you don't have to worry about it. We do have a proximity key with passive entry here on all 4 doors. So I can lock it from any of the 4 doors by pressing on that little square there, and I can unlock it by putting my hand on the back and just opening it right up. That triggers the mirrors to open and close. And if I walk away from this vehicle with the key in my pocket, it will lock and those mirrors will fold closed. Open up these doors and you can see my seat moves back into place to allow me to get in more easily, but we have got the carbon fiber and red Napa leather interior on this one. I love it. Tucker loves it. I do believe this is a hit with the family. So yes, we may have the matte gray exterior, but the interior is definitely a step up in style. So you can see here, carbon fiber, we have 2-person memory seats here. We've got all metal buttons here for our window and mirror controls. You can see we can even power fold those. Express up down on all 4. There's your lock. We have the updated Bang & Olufsen sound system in this, which is new for the 25 model year across the GV80 SUV lineup. You can see a multi-way positional driver's seat here with your bolster support, lumbar support, thigh support, and massage. All of that is getting controlled right here. And then you can see, like I mentioned, Napa leather quilted seats, very much like the design. We have a very large diamond quilting here that fades into smaller and back into larger. Very cool design and really, really nice looking here in this red and black contrast. These are heated, they are ventilated, as you would expect. Before I climb in, I do want to show you, we do have soft closed doors, so you can just pull them to or allow them to touch, and the vehicle will pull them the rest of the way. That is at all 4 doors. Go ahead and pop in here, let that door do its thing from the inside, pull itself shut. My seat moves back into place, steering wheel moves down, put my foot on the brake, and we will start it up. You can see one of the big new changes for the 2025 model year across the GV80 lineup. The 27-inch OLED screen here. It is a continuous screen. It is not two separate screens between the driver information center and the infotainment system. So as long as you've got it here in this layout, and there are several, it looks like one continuous screen. Genesis uses local weather data, time of day, things like that, to change this for day and night. It is a really cool look. I'm not gonna lie, I really like just leaving it on this, even though I can swipe across here, I can do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, things like that. But you can see here, now I've got squared corners and rounded corners. That just bothers my brain so much. So typically, I leave it on the Genesis displays, and especially on the home screen here. This uses local map data. We'll start over my left knee and work our way across. One of the critiques I had of the 24 and prior models was the overusage of these metallic buttons with blue kind of cutouts and backlighting. Makes it very hard to see in certain lighting conditions. For 2025, this is it. This is what they've been reduced down to because they've changed the button style everywhere else. You've got your brightness control for your screen up ahead, downhill descent control, and traction control. Down here, you have your electronic parking brake and your hatch open button. Coming to the steering wheel, this is where the biggest offense of those old buttons were on previous models, but you can see now we have black and white contrast. Very easy to see in all conditions. You have your driver assistance over here. You've got controls for your screens over here. We've got paddle shifters, real metal paddle shifters on the back for the steering or the transmission, for that 8-speed transmission. You can see we've got volume controls, tuning controls, all of that. So you can really control everything from right here in front of you, including paging through different screen information bits up here. I can even push this button and reconfigure exactly what the screen looks like. So if you like your analog gauge look or digital gauge look, you can do that all from right here. I can also hit this button and page through exactly what is shown here on the center section, including our trip computer, all kinds of different information, just kind of paging through this center section, including just how many miles we've put on it. Coming up here, we do have a head-up display that is very informative. I like it. It even has blind spot warning, a visual warning up here. So I really like that. It lets you know when somebody is in your blind spot. You hit the lane centering button, lane trace assist, and you get those lines there letting you know it's helping keep you in the middle of the lane. I do like the updated steering wheel. It is a D-shaped steering wheel, so we do have a flat bottom. You can see we get the traces of red here, red accents with the perforation. Really like it. It is nice. It is soft. It is very grippy and sporty when you grab it in your hands. It's not too thin. It is actually just right. I like it a lot. You can see we've got stalks on either side of the back of the steering wheel, all your wiper controls here, all your lighting controls there. I did mention Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This would be a good time to reference this video's sponsor, SyncKid, wireless Apple CarPlay adapters. So this vehicle will come equipped with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in the very near future, but currently we're relegated to wired only with these USB-C ports up here. A software update will be coming, but in the meantime, you can reach out to this video's sponsor, SyncKid, which gives you this dongle adapter and USB-A and USB-C adapter ports to plug in. It is very simple and easy to do. Just a couple seconds, and then you can have wireless Apple CarPlay. My phone is in my pocket right now. I did not have to use a USB-C cord to do it. And I can use the Qi wireless charging pad right up here and not even have to worry about USB-C ports. We do have some additional power right there, and I can hide all this under a carbon fiber panel. Other updates for the 2025 model year are the HVAC controls, a relocation of volume and tuning, just a cleaning up of this entire area. Though I can say from personal experience, just today, there are certain times of day when sunlight will come beating down on this metallic panel here and could potentially blind you with some extreme glare. And you can see it does show some fingerprints. Very easy drive, reverse, neutral, and park here for the 8-speed automatic. This helps control the touch interface here, so multiple ways to interface. It's all touch. You can use the knob here, and this part is actually a touchpad, trackpad. So multiple ways to interface, or you can just hit this home button a couple times and get back to my favorite screen there. A couple of cup holders with ambient lighting in it that I really like. We've got ambient lighting all the way around. Lots of really nice ambient lighting in this one. Coming back here, we have some additional controls, including our drive modes. The Sport Plus drive mode is exclusive to the SUV Coupe. When I put it in that, it does hug me tighter up here in the driver's seat with my adjustable bolsters. I can turn off the start-stop in traffic, lock it in all-wheel drive, turn off my parking assist, hit my camera button to show my full 360 cameras. I really like what Genesis does, and they even allow you to pan around your vehicle here. I can even adjust the color of my vehicle on the screen. So if I bought a gray one, but I wanted a blue one on the screen, I could absolutely do that. But really like their camera systems and all there. I do have a heated armrest here. Haven't had to really use it, but when the steering wheel heat is on, supposedly these armrests heat. That is a first in the segment. I like how they are dual opening. You get a little shallow opening right here, but you can pull this out for a much deeper felt lined center console there. So a little bit of extra storage there. Kind of a cramped but damped and felt lined glove box here. Not super large, but you can store some things in there. You can store some things in the lower door panel, the upper door grab section right there. Decent storage. And then we do have some sunglass storage right there. As we move up, we do have a fully suede headliner with a suede retractable shade for our panoramic glass roof. Will go ahead and come to me at 5'10". I've got plenty of headroom in this one. You can see it is a very dark tinted panoramic roof, so you really can't leave it open 90% of the time, even in a hot Texas summer day, or, well, it's fall now, but without much penalty. Some other things I really like up here is the fact that you can adjust the front passenger seat from the side here. So if you are chauffeuring somebody around in the chauffeur seat, or Tucker seat as we call it in this family, you can do that from right here. Give some additional space back there. Other luxuries I like, I showed you the camera back on the back, but we do have a rear view camera mirror. I'll go ahead and show you what the view out of the back looks like. It is a little bit compromised with that sweeping rear glass, but flip that switch and you've got a crystal clear view out the back. That is it for the front seats. Let's pop into the back seats and see what those are like. All right, I showed you soft closed doors just like up front, but one of the big changes to the SUV Coupe is we now have a more sloping rear door line here. So that got rid of one of our favorite things in the GV80 SUV, and that was the power retractable rear sunshades. So referenced Tucker seats earlier. We don't have those here, but we do still get carbon fiber. We still get red accents. We still get a lot of nice luxurious touches, including a power adjustable second row seats, which I really like. They do slide forward and back. They fold flat. They are ultimately very adjustable, but we'll go ahead and see me at 5'10". Do I bonk my head in with this roof line? No, it's not too bad. It is not a complaint, even though it is slightly more raked than the SUV proper. I don't know what to call it, just the GV80 SUV, I guess. Coming to me, sitting behind myself at 5'10", plenty of legroom. These are very soft leather-like seat backs. Back here, we get some hard mat pockets on the backs of both seats. We get HVAC controls, tri-zone HVAC controls with air vents on the back of the center console, not in the ceiling, so that is a slight detractor here in the segment, but we do get heated and ventilated outboard seats, which I do really like. We get some additional power back here, with USB-C and a household style plug back here. So lots of nice amenities back here. I already showed you can make more legroom for your rear passenger side passenger back here. If you want to see us put Tucker's child safety seat in, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you don't miss our family review when that drops later this week. Fold down center armrest, 2 cup holders here, and a felt lined center cubby storage area right here, all with stitched leather on it. Very nice, very luxurious, very mindful, very demure. Really, really do like the entire package here, though there are some compromises for that SUV coupe-like look, most notably here in the back seats without those power sunshades. That is it for the tour. Let's actually get behind the wheel and see how this thing drives. Setting off in the 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe. Man, I love this vehicle. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna just put this out there right at the beginning. I don't know if that e-Supercharger is all it's cracked up to be. I was very excited when they announced it. I was like, ooh, they're leaning into that performance thing, but it's really not that much power, and I can't say that it's insanely noticeable. It does turn this into a mild hybrid, so you do get 2 mpg better in the city, which bumps your combined number up by 1 mpg. But I don't know that I'd be buying this for the fuel savings because it's a few $1,000s more than the SUV we tested recently. So I don't know. Speaking of price, the GV80 Coupe only really comes in 2 trims, non-e-Supercharged and e-Supercharged, which, I mean, it's a good powertrain. It sounds fine. It moves fine. That was in comfort mode. Really like the 8-speed automatic in this. I've got no complaints about the powertrain. It's just not a performance powertrain. This entire platform, they're trying to gear it, aim it towards perhaps that AMG version of the GLE we have tested previously on this channel. But that one had a lot more power. This one, it's nice. I will always welcome more power, always. And welcoming more power with better fuel efficiency is like a win-win. So I do like that. The GV80 Coupe also gets more style than the GV80. More fun color options like that blue I mentioned that I wish we had gotten when this one was delivered to us, with the navy blue ultramarine seats with the orange seatbelts. Love, love, love that color combination, though this red ain't too shabby either. As far as getting this thing out and driving it, we've spent a lot of time on the highway, but I'll let Holly speak to that in our family review, and putting around town, living our normal lives in this. And I can say, much like the GV80 SUV, this is good. Though being a mild hybrid, you can tell when the engine cuts off, because we are in Texas, the air conditioning gets weaker. It's unfortunate. So all those fuel savings that we get from it being a mild hybrid, we negate by, yeah, I'm getting some glare, pressing this very metallic button here in the center and turning off that engine start-stop, just because it doesn't really work for me. I'm sorry. The suspension in this, it is very nice. It is very soft when you want it to be. It's very luxurious as you would expect it to be, and does have that adaptive road preview. So it's watching the road right in front of the vehicle, adjusting and getting ready for preloading for big bumps and different things in the road ahead of you. You can turn this dial and turn it into sport. Changes my gauges a little bit, more sporty red. Then I can turn it into Sport Plus. Again, that kind of hugs me a little bit tighter with my bolsters. Turns off traction control, really amps up the power and the throttle response from that twin turbo V6 and that e-Supercharger. I mean, it's a little more responsive, but again, this thing really is a luxury cruiser, not just a all-out race machine. though they really want you to think it is. I do really like Genesis performance models, but if I were in the market for a performance Genesis, it would be the one that, rumor has it, is going away with the smallest G70 sedan. That G70 is just, mwah, oh, so good. I really, really like that. The bigger you get, the taller you get, the more you're fighting the forces of physics. There's only so much you can do when fighting physics. Some of my colleagues have complained about body roll in this, or too floaty of a suspension for a true performance SUV coupe. Ooh, listen to that downshift in Sport Plus. We'll go ahead and turn here and give it a little, okay. And it even pulled my seatbelt more snugly on me. I do like the piped in noise from the engine here in Sport Plus. I'll take it. Like, I'm nearing 40 years old. I have a son. I like to be coddled a lot, which reminds me, let's turn on that ergo motion seat. They don't really like to call it massage seat. And we'll also turn on my ventilation. We'll coddle myself here while also taming 400 plus ponies and 400 plus pound-feet of torque. This is a perfectly fine vehicle. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Is it everything I hoped it would be, from the sporty intention that the wheels, that roof line, and that e-Supercharger were touting from the get-go? No. Is it worth some of the sacrifices that you lose in rear seat comfortability? For me, personally, I don't know that I will miss the sunshades all that much. I know Tucker likes them down more than he likes them up. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. And again, you do, in theory, get better fuel economy in this because of the engine start-stop and that mild hybrid system. But I don't know that it is all that well thought out, well baked out, because again, it likes to cut the engine off a little bit too much for my liking as it gets warm here in Texas. Other compromises are visibility. Yeah, rearward visibility looking over my shoulder is not great, but I did mention I do have visual warnings of blind spot avoidance type technology on the head-up display in front of me, as well as all around me, really. So I've got some really good tech to make up for my limited visibility in this, so I've got no real complaints there. This vehicle, this platform, is really tailored towards me. I really like it. I don't know. I think I am torn between the SUV proper and this SUV coupe. They do have a fun Capri blue that I really like in the SUV proper. So color, style, all of that is all subjective. You let me know down in the comments which you prefer. But I really do think this entire platform is a real slam dunk. No, it is not the sportiest in the segment. No, it is not the most athletic, but that is okay. It is very stylish and absolutely turns heads no matter where you take it. Anecdotally speaking, we did have somebody in a Yukon Denali pull up to us in the Hobby Lobby parking lot, wanting to know all the details about this because she wanted to make this her next vehicle. If you want to make this your next vehicle, hit up your local Genesis dealership. Let them know GT Garage Talk sent you. On that note, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell so we can help you on your cart buying journey. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to GTGarageTalk.com. But as for me, I'm gonna enjoy what little time I have left with this vehicle that I do believe is targeted very strongly towards me, aging fathers that like to have a little bit of driving fun while also being pampered. Until next time, gearheads, bye. Oh. I like it. I want to keep this one for much longer. Mm, 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 mm. I love it. I love it. They're coming for me. Genesis, I know, like, we're there. We're on the same brain page. It's downshifts. Love it.